How you guys doing? Randy Richard in the shop. Back with you. I've had a little bit of a hiatus, you might say, from filming and stuff. But actually, I've been doing some filming, and I have a project I've been really working on after my fishing trip, and I'm really trying to get this done. It's taken a lot of work, but I want to give you, I guess, a little catch up. I've also had some issues with my feet for a couple of years of numbness. And so it's been hard for me to be in the shop, and I finally had some treatments done, so my feet are actually getting better. So this is going to help a lot for me, at least. So I've had also no time in the shop trying to stay off my feet while I get a little better. But thanks for sticking with me, and thanks for everybody's support out there, and really appreciate it. So I've got a couple projects I have to do. This is one. I'll just show you some drawings real quick. This is one little drawing. This is a pin for my son's tubing bender, the JD squared one. This is a limit pin, stop limit pin. Well, it got put in backwards, so now it has a 45-degree bend in it. So we need to make a new one of those. Yeah, somebody, I don't know, I know he loaned it out, but I'm not sure how that happened, but it got put in backwards and it got bent. This is a project having to do with the other project I'm going to show you in a minute. This is a nice chunk of steel. This is from a square axle trailer, old axle trailer, but a square one. Boy, if you ever get it, this is a 2x2 roughly. If you ever get a chunk of that, it is nice steel. This is quality stuff right here. I machined it up a little bit, cleaned it up. There's some this is the old one, and it has some rust and pitting, so the edges and corners are still there, but we don't care about those for this. This is gonna be a tool holder for the turret on the Logan lathe I showed you before. So I'm doing a project. This is something for support of the channel project. I don't know how well that is coming out. That white, I like that green paper. It doesn't wash out the camera. About at least 30 years ago. It was back in like 1980. We're talking. I designed this scribe. Now this is made out of brass. 3/8 stock. It unscrews, and this is a scriber, and then you flip it around, screw it back in again, and you have a scribe. Now this one was I made this with a needle gun needle. If you don't know what a needle gun or needle scaler needle, this is what one of those look like right there. It's about 4.5 to 5 inches long. About 1/8 of an inch in diameter, but these are hardened. Anyway, so I've did a little extra design work on this to make this a little bit better and a little longer. But this is so you can just slip this in your pocket. Now, what I did is I had a pocket clip off a big pen, and that goes on there, so you can carry it in your upper pocket. But it's also handy, you can just slip it in your pocket and you're not going to get poked or anything. Handy to have around on the ship. I used to have to mark things. If you're taking something apart real quick, you want to put some witness marks, or if you're going to scribe for a project or something. So this came in very handy. I carried this for about 30 years on the ship, so it's been a long time, and I use it here in the shop today. So I thought I'd make some of these with a few little design changes that made it a little better, and I will be engraving them. Now, it's very hard to probably see on there, but I've engraved this one as a test. And so far, this is where I'm at. I'm doing all this with the turret lathe, so I have footage of making these parts. This is not quite done yet, so this end will get a rounded end to it. This unscrews, of course. You'll be able to flip it around. A little longer scribe. Screws in nice and flush. carbide. Now this really is 3 inches long, so what you'll be able to do with it, if you grind it, I mean, you won't have to grind it a lot because it being carbide, but if you do and you get it shorter, and it gets shorter, this goes in here about 1.5 inches into the handle. So you can this is just glued in with some Loctite, and you can warm this up and actually pull this out some and then re-glue it in if you want. So this has a lifetime supply of carbide there as far as a scribe probably goes. And we're going to have a little detail there, some grooves, and I've colored those, which makes it very pretty cool looking. Let's see, maybe, I don't know, maybe if I put my hand behind it, it looks a little better. So these are brass. They'll be polished up, hopefully. That's the plan. And it screws in. So that's those will be available for a modest donation to the channel. And I'm probably only going to make a limited number of these, just so you know. these are a lot of work. They're more work than I thought it would be. You know, to sit and make one is probably no big deal in the lathe. But when you say you want to make 40 of these things, it's a whole nother story. So, the turret is the way to go, at least for me it is. Now if I had a CNC machine, of course, boy, it'd be nothing to do these. But with the turret, you have a lot of different tooling and setups and all that. So I think I'm at, let's see, this was one setup. So this process on this with the 2 different size holes, counterboard, and threading. This was, you know, one turret setup. This is ended up being, this is 2 turret setups. This part here. These are just being hand ground as far as the carbide. And I'll have on this part, for the end, I'll have 1 more turret setup. So we're looking at 4 turret setups to make these. And then there'll be the engraving on the X-Carve, another little setup there, and everything. I laugh about it because I didn't realize, I should say, kind of how much it was going to work it was going to be. You know, in my head it was one thing, but once I started doing it, I go, oh my gosh, you know, type of thing. And I need to make a tool, and that's what this block of steel is for, is to make another tool holder better. I need another rigid one than what I have. I have a kind of a wimpy one there, and it's just not, it deflects too much. It's just not rigid enough. So I'm going to make another good stout one. I've also machined up a couple other parts for my son. He did another truck mod to his truck. I put in these 18-inch travel rear shocks with a frame. I think I had showed some of the framework before. And he put in new rear springs to help with the travel and make it softer. It's more of a, I don't know, I guess off-road racing kind of setup. I'm not a car guy. I just help build things. So we got the springs in, and he's got his shock mount framework that's all done. And he's building a whole new rear bumper. He took the other bumper off that he built that we showed video on, sold that, and is now building another bumper, but a tubular one, using his tubing bender and things like that. I think actually he's pretty much done with it, almost done with it, I should say. We're not showing a lot of video on that. He's kind of shy a little bit, you might say, and he doesn't want to show everybody what he's doing, type of stuff right now. At least he's kind of holding back a little bit, so that's up to him. And I just kind of, he lets me show some of the parts I make for him or things like that. So I just want to respect his privacy a little bit on that stuff. And I have a couple clips of the springs we installed and the installation of that stuff. So that's came out good though. Pretty happy with it. Had the whole back end of the truck tore apart. Anyway, I'll show you a little bit of machining here, making a fixture piece to hold a bearing housing. So I'll make the fixture piece that the bearing housing will slip onto, and that is to make upper A-arms for the truck, for the Toyota Tacoma truck. It's his own. He's designed his own upper A-arm, and we're going to make a. Or he's going to make a, he is, I should say, not me. He's going to make a fixture so he can build these new A-arms. And I just help make the part of the fixture for him so he could hold these bearing housings in place on the fixture and weld that all together and such. So anyway, maybe we'll get to see some of that. So we've been pretty busy here. Other than that, he's also moving back into the house. So moving back home for a little while he finds a place in Utah to move to. So that's kind of interesting. It takes up a lot of my space in my shop, it seems like, when he comes back. Anyway, thanks you guys. I just wanted to give you a little quick catch up. The weather's been beautiful here. I know you don't want to hear about the weather, but the weather's been beautiful. It's been spring-like weather. We would like some more rain and stuff. March is coming, so we would really like that. And while I've been away, I also turned 60 years old. So there you go. The age is kicking in. So I turned 60, and that's why I went fishing for a week. I needed to. And I'll show you a picture of the monster fish I caught. I actually hooked another one about the same size and lost it. But this phenomenal fish, Pyramid Lake, Nevada, cutthroat, one of the Pilot Peak strain fish. It was well over 15 pounds, where we didn't have any way to weigh it, but it was probably closer to 20 pounds. A very big, fat fish. It's the largest trout I've ever caught on a fly rod. I've caught salmon, silver salmons, and which don't really get quite as heavy as this fish. They get longer, but not as maybe as heavy. But I've hooked some king salmon and things like that. So for me, freshwater fly fishing wise, this is the largest fish I've ever caught. I've caught a couple of big ones close to it though, but not quite this big. So it's pretty exciting, and especially for my birthday. So that was really cool. Other than that, thanks for watching, you guys. Please stick with me. And I do have a lot of other projects planned. While I've been kind of sitting around a lot, I have planned a couple other projects, did some drawings and things like that I'm working on. So we'll have some good projects coming up here in the weeks to come and things like that. I will have to go away again for a little bit here coming up in a couple weeks. My one daughter is having her baby, and we're heading to Montana for that. And I'm going to try to stop in, this is to you, Matt Torno, up in Billings, Montana. And I'm going to stop by and stop in and say hi to Matt on my way up to Montana. And so if there's anybody else out in the Montana, let's see, near Sidney, Nebraska area, or Cheyenne, Wyoming, I'll be out there for a little bit in that area. And hey, let me know. Send me an email. We'll stop by, see your shop, and maybe get a little footage shot and show what you guys are doing out there, some of the viewers. Matt, I follow Matt on Facebook and communicate to Matt through Facebook most of the time. So anybody out there, if you want to let me stop by or say hi, see your shop, I would love to do it. As long as it can't be too far out of the way. I don't have a lot of time, but I will be out there for several days in the area, or Great Falls area, Montana, things like that. I'd love to stop by and see your shops. So get a hold of me, and we'll try to work something out. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll get back to some good project work. Little walk around. My son and I have been really busy on his truck. There's the new bed. It's over there. That has extended fenders. So he's, or fender sides, I don't know, bed sides. It's kind of different. The bed's made in pieces actually, so you can replace these whole side panels. Pretty cool. That's so they're better wheel coverage. This here frame is for the 18-inch plus travel shocks. This goes in the bed. He made that. It's pretty nicely done. Did a good job on that. Here we're putting in new springs for the 18 inches or so of travel that he now have in the rear end. These big brackets and the reverse bent shackles. Big springs. You know, they're over 5 feet between the pivot pins. Got these all welded in. Of course, we had to redo, of course, bump stops down there. This part here, added that in and all that. And this is all welded in. So we got both sides of that done. And we're going to do a little exhaust work on routing a tailpipe off the muffler. And we should be ready to put this all back together. Coming out good. And it's going to work out pretty fine.
Who's your buddy that untangled your amnesia for you? Why?
There, you see, he's right here on the surface. See the swirl?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, we're in what? Knee-deep water.
He's in hip-deep water. Oh, God.
He doesn't like the shallow.
Well, let's go. Oh, we don't have a net.
We don't have a net.
You know,
and we're not putting our arms in the water.
We should probably get a net. I mean, I have a net. I should have brought my float tube net. Probably be too small for this fish, but we get half of them in there.
Fish so bad.
Oh, I know you do, and I'd like to see you land it too. I get an assist.
It's a toad.
Yeah, there's some. That I don't see the one that the old guy landed there, but he was fighting a pretty good fish for a while.
Yeah, he got to shore though.
Did he?
Yeah, well, he was on shore.
Yeah.
So when
You sure you got this one by the lip?
Yeah, the way he was flip-flopping in the water, I saw him down there. The way he was going.
Yeah, it was not. It's not. You haven't got him on the back or something. So,
I don't think so.
Because that you'll never get him in if that's the case.
I'm not joking. He was that wide.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I wasn't.
Well, in about an hour, we're either going to be celebrating with a gin and tonic or crying into a gin and tonic, and it doesn't really matter which. Well, it does, but doesn't. Matters more to you than it does to me.
Oh, man. The purple fly, yep.
If I go in too close, it gets a little...
Look at that fish. Look how fat that fish is, Mike. Look at that thing. He's got to be 20 pounds, if not more. God, it's huge, Mike.
Let me get a look. Give me a good look at this fish here.
Can you tail him, Mike?
Well, I can try.
No.
You tail him.
I'm gonna get him.
if just.
I'm gonna get him.
You can drag him up on shore if you want. Oh, yeah, that's a nice fish.
Is that an awesome? Come on.
That is an awesome fish. I'm gonna pick it up and then I'm gonna zoom in on it. You could pick him up. What are you talking about? Hold on. How do you? Oh, photo. Got it. Got
Look
it.
at that fish.
I tap the movie thing and then just tap the screen.
No, just tap the screen.
Just keep tapping it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at Sand Hole here, Pyramid Lake. It's just beautiful out. We wish it was a little windier, but that's the mountains around. Calm morning, windless bay. Looking for a 687, but I'm 680, almost 6, so 686. That's fine. That'll give me a 50% thread. Now I'm going to open up 1 inch here to 3/4 or a little bit over. I only need threads on 1 inch at the most, so I'm going to counterbore this side, and we're only going to tap that last inch. We're looking at taking off approximately 125, 128 thousandths. And we'll see, we'll get a rough cut and then get a measurement. Take about half what's left, about 32 thousandths in, and take about 17 off each side. Not quite cleaned up, but the next cut should have it all cleaned up. What we're making is a piece, this piece here we're making will have to fit inside of this. This is a bearing holder for the spherical bearing. The bearing will go in here, right? So what we're doing is making a fixture for this to fit on to build an upper A-arms. So this will be welded on. So this fixture will hold this while it's welded in position to build the A-arm itself, and then the bearing will be put in there, of course, afterwards. So we want a pretty good fit on this. We want a nice, really close slip fit. That's what we're looking for. So that's why we're going to take our time to make sure we get a good fit. So we'll make our last cut here, about 21 thousandth depth to cut. We're looking for 2.128. Well, we didn't do too bad. Let's see, about a little less than 1 over, but basically 1 over, so that's good. We'll get it to fit that way. We'll try the one I measured. You can see here I marked it inside and took 8 measurements around to get an average. It's just a little bit. Oh, see this? Now that other one doesn't quite go on, but this one we don't want it too tight. But there we go. See, that's like there's a tiny bit of movement there, but that's the fit we were looking for. Think we're done? Looks good. Counterbore. Slips right on, nice. Because now we have that chamfer on there. That really helps. Kind of. There we go. You know, it really helps. Fits real good. A bolt's going to go in there and such. So The other one, let's see if the other one fits. That one might need a little, it might be a little rough edge. There's an O-ring groove, or not an O-ring, snap ring grooves cut in here, and I can feel there's burrs on that edge, and it just starts, doesn't quite feel perfectly round again. So a little sand on that. I think we'll just put in a lathe and give it a quick little polish, and it'll probably be just fine. But this is the part we were trying to make, so I think we're done.